What's going on, guys? You're watching COD Wins. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of Warzone tips and tricks we have for you. Before we get into it, if you did enjoy this video, a like is appreciated, and if you want to see more, then we strongly suggest hitting the subscribe button. And of course, most of the things in our video are user submitted, so if you would like your clips to have a chance of being featured in our videos, please go to the submission folder in the description and check in your videos there. Alrighty, enough chit chat, let's get straight into the video. So we're starting off with something that lots of people do not know. When you down a player and end up getting revived, there's a second cue that plays to indicate they actually have been revived. This is really something important to know, so you are very well aware of your surrounding and what is happening actually at the time. You will know if the player is dead or not, and you will still have to deal with them and potentially their teammates as well. The sound cue is very helpful, and you should strongly get used to noticing it. It is subtle, but it's there. Now this next tip will help you out quite a lot, you have no idea. As much as you can, you should throw a smoke at the buy station when you or your teammate is actually going to use it. Now this is because when you are using the buy station, you are going to also be standing still, and that makes you an easy person for other players to just shoot. Very much the definition of a sitting duck. So throwing a smoke will make you invisible to the other players, unless they have something like a thermal scope, of course. But against 99% of enemies, this is super useful, and it will save your bacon a lot, that's for sure. You can never be too safe, even when you're shopping, so make sure you smoke it up.
Get me?
So our next tip is positioning. This is something that you need to keep thinking about all the time throughout your game. When it comes to positioning, there are a couple things that you need to consider. One of the things, of course, is to think about the high ground. If you have the high ground over other players, then you are in a really good position. With this, if you think about it, the high ground is a very good spot that will give you a great chance of winning your gunfight due to hitboxes and positioning and the way they have to look compared to the way you have to look. Another thing to consider is the cover that is around you. You want to make sure that all of your sides are pretty much covered and that you are not exposed. You just want to worry about shooting others rather than stressing over people shooting at you from your blind spot. And lastly, it is really good to be on the edge of the circle. This will reduce your chances of actually getting flanked. Always be aware of your surroundings as something that can give you an edge in gunfights, such as cover or positioning. Now this next useful tip is great and will be super handy anytime during the game, especially in the end game. So if you or your teammates combine 3 UAVs at the same time, then you will basically get an Orbital VSAT, or in other words, a much better UAV or an improved enemy tracking on your radar or map. This is amazing because you can track players accurately and you can perhaps get the jump on them and take them out, or you can prepare the next best position to be in to then take them out. This is something that you should definitely take advantage of as much as possible. I'm just spitting facts, just take it on board, guys. Now this next thing is something that not a lot of players do at all, but it is to do with the Recon Contracts. I'm sure we all already know that when you do a recon, it reveals where the next circle is going to be, which is great for getting ahead of other players and setting up in a good position. But if you go one step further and do multiple recons in the early game, then the game will be able to circle peek for literally all of the circles. This is awesome. It's great for players that are purely after the win. You can plan your route throughout the game, or simply go to where the last circle is going to be in advance and hold it down there. You know where the game is going to end. There are not many better advantages than that. I think the next step up would be hacking, so you're doing pretty well if you know where the circles are going to be. For players who are just after some high kill games, and this is not really something that you would likely want to do, but rather just going around and hunting players. However, if you are after that lovely win, then go do this for sure. Now for our final tip, we're going to give you a few things that you can do to help with your accuracy, as it is one of the most important things about the game. So first, we recommend that you use guns that have some pretty low recoil. For example, the M13 is a really good option. Next is actually knowing that recoil pattern of the gun. Knowing this will help you understand how you're supposed to control the gun as you're firing it, and soon you will be razor sharp with your aim with that gun. Lastly, a great thing to do is just play some fast-paced multiplayer games like Free-for-All in Rust or even Shipment before you go to Verdansk. This is all just a good bit of warm-up to make sure that your aim is at its peak when you play, because the best way to get kills and win is by being in the zone. And with that, those are our 6 Warzone tips and tricks. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even check out another video of ours on the screen right now. And remember, guys, if you want the chance for your clips to be featured in our next videos, then don't forget to submit them into the folder down below. And with that, guys, we'll catch you in the next video. Until then, take care.
There you go. Now you can see the loot, and you can't. Get me?